All right, we are live. Hey, everybody, welcome. And we are going to kick this off in just a minute. As usual, I want to make sure people have a chance to join. I'm looking over here. If you see me looking off the screen, looking at people starting to populate the chat list over there on the right. So we're, like I said, just take a minute, say hello. Hopefully you can see my message on there saying we're starting soon. If you see that, you're in the right place. But this is going to be really good. We got Damon Nelson here with us today. RSS Masher, and we're going to be talking about newsfeed marketing. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I just want you to know that you're in the right place. And, you know, there's a reason we're here too. We're really excited to hear what he has to say. And with that, I'm going to let Bradley go a little bit deeper into this before we kick things off. So, Bradley.
Hey, everybody. Bradley Benner, obviously. And we've got Damon Nelson on with, he's going to be talking about RSS Master 2.0 today. And any of you that had followed Semantic Mastery for long knows we love RSS feeds and some of the cool things that you can do with them, because even though it's an old, kind of an outdated technology or an older technology, I wouldn't say it's outdated. It can still very, very powerful if you know how to use RSS feeds correctly. And one of the things that RSS Master enabled us to do was be able to inject all kinds of cool things into our own customized RSS feed. It's very, very powerful. I always talked about using RSS Master as a great marketing tool. And I know that Damon and his team have really kind of improved it quite a bit with this 2.0 version, which I got to be honest, guys, I haven't even seen it yet. And I was just telling Damon, he gave me review access to it a couple of weeks ago, and I have not had time to look at it. And so I'm going to be kind of taking notes and experiencing all the new bells and whistles today for the first time as well. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. So Damon, how are you?
Great, Bradley. I'm glad that y'all invited us to come on board. Bradley and I met, what was it, 2015 or early 16? And we ended up sitting side by side at a JV Zoo conference.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was Marketing Mayhem. And I think it was either 14 or 15. It might have been 15.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. So
that's right.
Both of us have kind of been in the business for a long time, and I'm very excited about RSS feeds. I have some of the things that's happened recently in RSS feed is they're putting full post content on RSS feeds now, and there's a lot of sites out there that it's not just the title and the image anymore. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but if y'all are ready, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Let's jump right into it.
Okay, perfect. This is one of our customers. Once he got a hold of this, he said this is one of the coolest auto posting systems that he's seen so far. So now, before we get started, what I wanted to do is just kind of lay out what we're going to be talking about today. Is we have kind of the overall vision. We're going to go a little on that part, but we're going to talk about strategy and tactics. I'm going to cover the strategy, and Wayne is going to cover the tactics of how to create this news feed marketing, auto-curated content. Now, there's one thing, it changed everything as far as what we were doing with RSS feeds and auto blogging. This was back, I guess, back in the early years of auto blogging. It was you only had very few feeds, but you were just using SEO for it. So what's making it easier, faster, and just it's flat out better than something, some experts, they're calling it news feed marketing. And you may not know what it is. That's okay. We're going to cover that. We're going to show you over the next hour how this one thing changes everything that you do as far as auto blogging, auto content, and content marketing. Our promises to you today. We're going to show you an easy way to generate newsworthy headline with attention-grabbing images for your blog in just minutes. We're going to also show you how to auto-curate content to make it your own. And we have this special software that we basically take the old RSS feeds and make a brand new one. And Wayne's on the call today. He's my partner, and he's going to show you everything how to do this. And then the most important part is we have taken everything and we've created backlinks that automatically pop up through the social networks. And we do all this on autopilot. So once it's set up, it's a set it and forget it type system. So let me talk to you about newsfeed marketing, or NFM. This is a fairly recent, Facebook coined the term in 2006 when they introduced a news feeds along with their ad revenue model. But nowadays, it really applies to anything that has a rolling timeline or a photo collage. So that would be your Twitter, your Reddit, your Tumblr, just about any social platform. And there's a new term out. It's called NFO, and it's kind of like SEO. It's called newsfeed optimization. And really, if you think in terms of NFO, it's unpaid or organic news feeds. NFM is paid news feeds. And so we're just going to lump them all together and call it newsfeed marketing. So in a few minutes, I'm going to show you the 3 steps of how to get started fast and the things that you need to do to auto curate a news feed. Now, I have a confession. I used to really struggle with this. So let me tell you how I discovered newsfeed marketing and how it completely changed my life. And there's a happy ending at the end of this. So ever heard of AdSense arbitrage? Or how about blogger farms? Well, quite a few years ago, I'd say back in the Seinfeld area, when I actually probably had hair back then, I was doing both AdSense arbitrage with WordPress sites, and they were all linked to an automated content feeder. And I also was building blogger farms that had backlinking systems. So I was one of those original auto bloggers that was I was enjoying it because you were making money every single day off AdSense. Individually, these sites, they made anywhere from a few dollars a day to a few $100s a month, but I had a bunch of them. And the strategy is very scalable because you had a template and you just followed the template and added content from these feeds. In less than a few months, I had over 1,000 mini sites with their own domain names and content feeds. And I started noticing that the sites that had the most traffic, the most clicks, they were celebrity gossip sites or passion niches. I would say passion niches like skiing or golfing or horse racing. They were quickly ranking on page 1 of Google for just about any post that I threw up there. Now, this was back prior to, this was around the 2010 to 2013 era. At the time, I thought it was one of the easiest ways to make money. So I just kept building these mini sites month after month. I even had a day job I quit just to build these mini sites, and they kept making money. I've had pretty good little revenue off of it. So at the end of 2014, something happened that changed both my income and my life at the time. Google had a massive algorithm update called Penguin. And then they came up with Panda. And just about every one of these mini sites were completely de-indexed. And they moved all those pages to pages you'll never see again. Thus, they killed all my AdSense income. So I had one traffic source and one revenue source. Couldn't believe it happened, but I wasn't alone. There were thousands of bloggers and SEO experts. They lost all their rankings at that one time. I realized at the time, if you're using the same content as everyone else with just one traffic source and one source of revenue, this strategy won't work. I never forgot those lessons. I went on to create another product called VidPenguin, courtesy of the Penguin algorithm. And then I got back into RSS feeds because I really like having an automated content system. So we started doing a lot more research into RSS feeds. And something happened that changed kind of the way that I was auto-blogging. I noticed that the majority of the organic traffic to my own blogs, some of the few that I retained over the years, it was no longer coming from Google search. Instead, the traffic was primarily being originated in Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Pinterest. And I was just shocked because especially Pinterest, but I kept feeding them with my RSS, my original RSS master tool. So I kept having content come in and I started getting traffic. I started getting clicks. I started noticing some ad revenue coming in that I had not even ever, or I hadn't in a few years advertised it. I was also getting AdSense income again. And I came up with 3 strategies on making this work. And the strategies were auto news blogging. That was the number 1 step to making this thing work and mastering it. Number 2 is money hooks. And we're going to go into money hooks when Wayne takes over. And then number 3 is the follow me principle. Truth is, it's next to impossible to screw this up if you get all 3 in a combination. Today's workshop isn't long enough to go over in detail each of them, so I'm just going to cover the first one, this auto news blogging, which that's what we're about to show you the software here. So by auto news blogging, let me kind of clarify. This is a recent technique to take RSS feeds from popular news sites, filter them by keywords. This is the trick to it. Find the best news articles by your keywords. Extract all the junk, and we have all the code extraction tools to do this. Replace it with your own content or some spun auto curation content. Then automatically post them to your WordPress sites. If you apply this step correctly, you'll see an increasing stream of traffic to your site just from these RSS feeds that have been modified. Why is this so important? I put a goldfish up here. Our attention span is 3 seconds or less, which is less than that of a goldfish. And the most successful news sites on social media have discovered that the trick to it is you've got to get the traffic, you have to get the attention of the traffic in less than 3 seconds. So how do they do that? There's a psychological trick that they do. And they hypnotize the reader in the newsfeed marketing. Virtually what they do is they have a great title with a perfect image that a lot of times they conflict. And it causes you, as you're reading through, to go, what does this image mean? And why is that title different? Or it's contrasting, or it's something that is piquing your interest. And from there, a short description with a link and a click through. News companies are great at doing this. It's link bait is what some people call it in social media. But by taking those same articles that they're using and putting them in your news feed and tweaking them to make them look like your own and do a curated model with it, you can take basically the same strategy that they're using in the news feeds and use it for yourself to drive traffic both to your site and to your client sites. Now, here's some auto news blogging sites that you probably have heard of. Google News, they're using the same thing. They're pulling RSS feeds, putting it in the Google News, and then they have link back to the original article. TechMeme, Metacritic, Flipboard. That's one of the ones I really follow a lot. Even Apple News is doing this curated auto blogging news aggregator site. So they don't write their own content. Instead, they find and they curate from news feeds. So part of the auto blogging success, secret one, is you want to find passion niches with sites that are constantly posting news feeds with well-written articles. They've got to have really good eye-catching headlines, and they've got to have featured images that you find something interesting with the image. This is what I tell everybody, this is not the option. This is just follow these guidelines. That's what you're looking for, is high frequency of content with good quality. And secret 2 is have different monetization methods on each post. This is what got me in trouble in the first time. I only had AdSense and I was only relying on Google SEO. Nowadays, there's things such as Amazon, Walmart, all the affiliate networks. You can even use this for lead gen. I have a lot of clients that are using this to build up a lead gen magnet. There's a program, or I'm sure everybody has seen it when they've gone to any of the news sites. It's down below. There's all this link bait down below, and it's from Taboola or Outbrain. Now, you got to have a lot of traffic for it, but those are high revenue models based on a high traffic model. You get the high traffic model from interesting, intriguing content that you pull off of the news feeds. Now, secret 3, to this auto blogging is you have to post and promote. And there's two ways of going about this. Is you want to evergreen your content. You want to have something out there that more than just post to Facebook, but it comes back and it revisits that article down the road and re-promotes that. I use a program called Buffer. I also use Missing Letter, which is really good, and Hootsuite to automate coming back and revisiting the WordPress and reposting those same articles, but posting them with different featured images or different text quotes on there. You could even use IFTTT, I believe, if you got some timer setups on the scenarios. And the other one is the promote part is if you see a post is getting a lot of traffic, a lot of shares, a lot of engagements, go out there on Facebook and drop $5 a day to repost that and reshare that and just boost the traffic to that one post. What that's going to do is it's going to get you more page likes on Facebook and the other social networks, but it's going to get you links into the site. So let people tell you what's the most popular, and then you just throw a few dollars a day at the most popular post. Now, I figured this out so you don't really have to. I like gossip feeds. I like celebrity feeds. I like TMZ, and that's one of my favorite feeds to build things with. I like Bleacher Report, ESPN, tip sheets, trending news articles. And Wayne's going to show you his favorites too. So you can do this. It's 100% without a doubt. If you've never written a blog post, don't worry about it. RSS feeds will write your blog post. Now, before I get into what I'll be teaching today and what we're going to show in the software, I wanted to just kind of go over what news feed sites look like. And we've got some demo sites that I want to show you. So I'm going to switch over to that screen here. So want to see these sites? I found that wrestler somewhere. Let me hop over to these news sites here. Okay, here is, and I'm just kind of giving you a handful of what news aggregator sites are. These are all WordPress. They're all 100% built by RSS feeds. We do not put anything in here at all. Now you can come in and put your own original content, but if you've got an automated curation system, this will build it all for you. So this is one of our sites, RSS super feeds. In fact, down the road is we're going to be doing video embeds from our VidPenguin source. When we rewrite VidPenguin, it's going to come in the back end of RSS super feeds as video embeds. And we'll have different categories for all those videos. But you can see it's a beautiful site. I'm using a theme called Bimber, and I think I got it on Envato or ThemeForce. So that's just a fresh and trending news. That's all it is. And then here is an exercise program. I've had this for years. I make AdSense income on it. Here's some AdSense ads in there. And I also do some ClickBank products. So there are some posts in here that read like a post, but they're actually just ClickBank sells emails. And I make money through those posts. Here's a game fishing site that I just built for a client. He's got his AdSense in here. And all this is deep sea fishing, fly fishing, and bass fishing. We pulled all this content from RSS feeds. So good looking site. And you notice the images are very interesting and intriguing. In fact, this theme is a free theme, and good little title on there. Short little descriptions going into the post itself. All this was auto-generated, and it's probably less than 30 days old, but we've got a lot of content coming in. This is Wayne's. Wayne has, it's all about the Royals, entertainment, different TV shows, the celebrities, and politics. He gets a lot of traffic to this, and all he has on it is AdSense, and he's making money every day with it. Now, he's not going to get wealthy and retire off this one WordPress site, but it's so easy to duplicate these WordPress sites and build back up your inventory of domain names, making anywhere from $2 to $10, $15, $20 a day on autopilot. And here is my hamburger site. I've had this for almost, I guess, 7 years now. A lot of posts on here. I sell ClickBank. I do affiliate offers on here, and I don't even have AdSense on here, but I'm making some money off this every day. Sporting excitement. This is a horse racing news site. You notice we got different themes running, but all of them are auto-generated. And you can see the traffic. I mean, this is 18 visitors, 26 visitors, 17 visitors. So we're pulling all this. This says 585 visitors. Interesting. And here's one that we're building for a client, daily news notes. And he's got a lot of it is about animals using that same Bimber theme. So I just kind of want to show you, so you kind of having your idea of what we're doing is we're building not only for ourselves, but for our clients, auto posting sites to get traffic. And once you have traffic, you can do a lot of things inside of your WordPress sites. I'm going to hop back over to the screen here. Let me make sure I'm on the right. Okay, there we go. Okay, Wayne, you about ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got the two other steps that I want to show you, but we're going to wait until the very end of the call because Wayne's going to go over a lot on the money hooks, and then then we're going to talk about the last one is the refollow. Okay, Wayne, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Can you pick it up from here?
I can indeed. Hi everyone, my name's Wayne, and I'm about to show you how we create those sites that Damon has just showed you, but in a set it and forget it kind of way. So you can see the login screen.
Yep.
Excellent. Just get there we go. Turn my video off, I think, save a bit of bandwidth. Okay, so you can see there's the login screen to our RSS Smasher technology software, and I'm going to log in. And in doing so, we'll be greeted with the dashboard. Now, the dashboard can show us a lot of things, what's going on, how many feeds we've got running, etc. But I'll just draw your attention to this red box. This is telling me how many social posts that have happened in my account. And you can see that we've been quite busy there in the social posts. We've got 36,500 nearly. And we've also got 11,000 WordPress posts. So you can see there's no way I could sit in front of the keyboard and be doing all that without the tool. So the idea of how it works is, as Damon was saying, is we take RSS feeds and we look for ones that are in the niche that you are interested in. We can also help with that as well in the software. But we can then manipulate those. We can take information away. We can inject information. We can search for certain articles that we're only interested in, and we can reject articles that we definitely don't want. And the reason it's called RSS Masher is a bit like a DJ when he does a mashup with all these mixes of his songs. We're actually mixing RSS feeds together, so we're doing a mash, you could say. So you finally end up with your own unique RSS feed, which you can then do anything with. That particular file is available. You could push it into IFTTT, for example, and do all kinds of wizardry with it. But the benefit of what we do is we're not only creating a final brand new mash, we're also taking all the content and the articles and storing them in our database. And what that allows you to do then is to schedule them wherever you want at your own pace. So to get going, we need to create a mash. So we go over to our menu on the left and we click on Manage Mashes, and that will open up our screen. You can see there's a fair bit going on. I'm going to highlight this one called Gaming Mash, and I'll click Edit. So what this mash is about is I'm going to take a gaming feed, the likes of Xbox, PlayStation, etc., and we're going to go through the motions, whittle out what we want, and build our mash. So the first screen is information that's the things that we set up at the beginning, like the name, you know, the description, as you can see there, latest hints and tips on all things gaming. We can also modify the permalink. So the final URL that your feed will be on will obviously be the software's URL / your account / and then the permalink can have any words in that you wish. So I'll put the words gaming. And you can also integrate your own domains if you wish, so that you can then make the final mash look like it's on your own servers, your own domain, or even on your own client's domain. So that's useful for if you're building things for a client and they need the final mash, you can make it look like it's hosted somewhere else and hide the fact that you've used our tool to build it for you, which is also good. And now some of the things we can do here is we can simply tick a box and it will strip out hyperlinks. So if the original feed has got external links going to another site or another ad or anything like that, we can strip those out and just leave the text behind. So in this example, if they'd got the word Sony PlayStation and it was hyperlinked off to Sony, ticking that box would just leave the words Sony PlayStation. Any questions will be answered by Damon, as I've just noticed, which is good. So we can also take RSS feeds from YouTube, and we can bring those in. So as soon as, if you're monitoring a channel, as soon as a new video is uploaded, the system will notice this, it will grab the new video and it will bring it in as part of the feed. And with this simple, because a YouTube feed is only a video and a description, not necessarily content as we see content like an article, we can tick a box there and we can get that to be copied straight away as content so that it becomes the article, and then we can post it later to wherever we wish. So just a simple tick will allow us to do that. We've also got, if you're only interested in articles with images, so that when you say you look on a home page of, say, WordPress, yeah, they all look nice and there's no gaps because there's an image missing. So you can decide whether you want imaged articles only. And then we've got, I won't go into, detail to the nth degree here because there's a lot of different options, but I'll just cover a few of these here. If the RSS feed has got no content, we can tick a box to copy from the description so that we've at least got something that we can use as an article. And that's just another simple tick box there. This is where you'd select a domain that you've integrated into the system so that we can make the final mash look like it's on, in this example here, latestinfo.co, it would be / blah, 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 / gaming XML, for example. Now, we've also got, which is a new option that we've built recently, and it will you can decide whether you want to strip HTML. So we can say no change, strip HTML, or we can even strip HTML and keep the images. So what that will do is it will have a good look at the article, and it will go through and have a really, really good stab at removing the HTML for you. So like a first shot at tidying it up for you to basically help you remove some injected ads that might be in the feed from the original source. You can just simply select strip HTML and it will get that out for you. But we do have an advanced tab, which I'll talk to you a bit later about, which really helps you hone in on the mash and to get rid of quite a lot of things that you don't want. I'm going to say no change here because the feed I'm going to use has got content inside, and I'll show you exactly how that looks. And of course, you can group mashes together so that you can keep things together based on website or based on client. And you just click update, and it will save that, and we can start to look at the feeds. So we go to add website feed, and here you can upload a CSV with feeds in. You can paste them into this box here. You can see I've got one already established. I would have just pasted it in there, click the button, and if it's a good feed, it will end up in the list at the bottom for us to use. But what you can do as well is, if you're not sure on where to get your feeds from, then we've got some drop downs here that will help you. You can simply search for the niche that you're interested in. So say hobbies and pets, for example. And as soon as you click on that, you'll see that the feeds appear in the box below. Some have got more, some have got less. Well, that one has got one. And if I pick lifestyle health, for example, and that one's also got one, news and politics. And you can see there's quite a few in that one. So you can pick from a list that we've already built for you. It will add them in, and it will add them to the box at the bottom. Now, once you've selected your RSS feed, and you can see I've selected this one, you can then decide how many articles do you want to extract from that feed at a time. So 5, 10, etc. If you want the latest, if it's a feed that constantly changes, so let's say every couple of hours there could be 40 or 50 new articles, then you can just select however many you wish to extract. I'll choose 5 for the purpose of the demo. And next, article template here. Now this, we could do a whole training on this. This is something quite special. And what the system will allow this to do is, if your RSS feed has only got title description, and quite a few have, then because what they want you to do is they want you to basically go back to the original website. You're using their feed, you're seeing that there's an interesting article, you click it, and it will take you to the original website. What we've built into RSS Masher is the ability to train it so that you can build templates. And what that allows you to do over in the integrations, you can train it to, you look at the original website and you look at the code and you say, from here to here is where I can see there's a header, from here to here is the title, etc., etc. There's training on how to do this, but once you get used to it, it's really, really powerful. And what you can do then is, once you've built that template, you can simply select it from a drop down, and you can see I've got a few here, BBC, Daily Mail, etc. And you select it, and once you've selected it, the system will know automatically that when a new article comes in from that feed, it will know, oh, there's a template attached. So it will go off, it will follow the link to the original website. It will put the rules that you've built in, or maybe you're using a template that we provided. and it will extract the original content and bring it back for you and put it into your mash, which is really, really powerful. I'm going to select blank because I know that there's content inside this feed, and we'll go with that for this demo. Now the YouTube tab works exactly the same. You can add a channel, a user, or a playlist, and you just drop it in, and the system will convert it to the XML, and then it will monitor the channel or the playlist for when there's new videos, and when there are, it will bring them in for you. So quite simple, similar to RSS feed, but works on YouTube. Google Sheets, this is, it's like the quick way to tell you is it's like a sandbox. And what that allows us to do is to cherry pick articles from places like Feedly, and then we can use, for those, we've got Zapier or Integromat. We've also integrated into the system. So what we do with that is we can hone in using Feedly and RSS feeds. We can particularly pick which articles we like. They will automatically go across to Integromat. Integromat will push them into a Google Sheet. You simply add the Google Sheet in here, and the system will treat it and get the articles from that Google Sheet for you and include them into the system. So anything that can fill a row in a Google Sheet can be used as an input method into RSS Masher. We've, in the integrations, which I'll show you in a bit, we've included access to your Google account, so you can quickly type in a name for a spreadsheet. It will create it for you. It will create the columns for you. And then you just go ahead and fill it. And it's all automated once you set it all up. So you can sit there. You can even sit on your phone. You could be watching Netflix and you could go, that's a nice article, tap, and that will be pushed straight into the system. It will be pushed into, say, WordPress or wherever, and it will be part of your end result, which is marvelous. So, keyword filters, this is where we can extract or include certain articles that are in the feed. So in this example, if I was only interested in Sony PlayStation, then I would put that keyword in there, if I could spell PlayStation. Miss the A out, here we go. And so what that's telling us is if Sony PlayStation is in the title, then we want to keep that article. We can also put it in the bottom box, which means if it's also, if you find it in the description or the title, so if it's in either, then we want that article. And you can put multiple keywords in here just with using a separation. So we could also put Xbox, we could put Microsoft, etc. And then we're now saying if Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, or Microsoft is part of the description, then we want to include that. There, the bottom part are negative keywords. So if you do not, under any circumstance, want Nintendo. So let's say you're building a site that's like, it's pro Sony or it's pro Microsoft, etc. But it's definitely not Nintendo. Then you could put the Nintendo keyword down here. So if any article has got that word in, even if it has got these words in, because it's a negative keyword, it will be rejected. So it will just not include that article in the mash. And we've also built in an adult filter, which you just simply tick. So if you definitely want to build something that's PG, then you simply click that and it will exclude all unscrupulous words that we don't want to see on this webinar. So I'm going to take all those out, so I'll accept all articles that come across. You simply click update, and that will store those keywords. Now, of course, you can have separate keywords for every feed you've got. So if I've got multiple feeds in this one, I could select them, and then I could put my own keywords in for each feed if I wanted to, or we can do all feeds or a mixture of both. Completely up to you. So now we've done that, where is it coming from? How are we filtering it? We can get to our money hooks. Now, money hooks are really powerful because what it allows you to do is inject text, content, pictures, images, whatever you wish into the articles for your benefit. So as you can see, we've got a hook before. So you can type anything in here and it will be above the article. And in the bottom box, you can put things in there and it will be below the article. So what you could use the top box for would be to introduce an article, for example. You could say, this is a great article that I saw. What do you think? And then the article would follow. And then you could put a money hook in at the bottom, like an affiliate, for example. But what we've decided is, let's do something. I mean, that's great and all, but you don't particularly want that at the front of every article that it finds. So we actually made these boxes spin tax enabled. So for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a multiple of keywords or sentences separated by a separator. So you start off a spin tax with a curly bracket, and I could put hello, and then the separator is a pipe, which is like a line, and then you can put hi, and then you could put bonjour, for example, and then you could close off the curly brace. So there we've now put hello, hi, and bonjour, and the system will know. In fact, if I just get rid of that, we can actually press preview, and the system will give you a quick, you can see it's just selected the word hi. And if we click preview again, it might select hi, or it's selected bonjour. And you can see that the system will allow you to put multiple things in, and it will pick one of them at random, which is great. So what we can do there is we can put things like this. So here I've got, this is a great article that I read. It seems that the technology that's coming out is very exciting. What do you think? Separator. This is so brilliant. Separator. I have this tech in my house. What do you have in yours? Read on for some great ideas. And you can carry on and carry on. And then we close off the curly brace. And then that gives the system 3 sentences in this example to choose from each time, mixing it up a bit. Now we have got what we call tokens, and there's some predetermined tokens, and this will automatically embed the token and it will get replaced. So if you wanted the original post title, you could select the token post title, and then when it's built, you would see the original title. We've also got author, we've got date, we've got the original source link, clickable and not clickable. So if you don't want any outbound links created, you can decide to put the no click. So that'll just embed the text, the original feed name, etc., etc. Some of the others are some embedded systems that we've got, like we can embed something called WriteKit, and that allows us to generate hashtags, which I'll talk about more when we get to the scheduling part. But citation is a good one. And citation we can put after the article. It's a good place to put it. So we select citation, we click insert, and it will insert the token. And there, I mean, because this is an HTML editing box, we can italicize it if we wish. And press return, and now we've got the citation token. And what that does, when the final mash is built, it will get replaced, and it will put the name of the original article, who wrote it, the date, where it was from, the original link, etc., just by using that token. Now, what we can do here, and what I like to do, I mean, the final result where you push this article could be WordPress, for example, and you might have AdSense, but you can put all kinds of affiliate links here. So for those of you familiar with Amazon, I went on there and I did a search for gaming affiliate products like Xbox and PlayStation, for example. And because this is a gaming feed, it's important to keep the two congruent, because if they're reading about gaming, you know, they're more likely to click on a gaming product. So I can put, if I go to HTML, I can put in there the embed code for an ad from Amazon. And then if we look at that, you can see that it's actually an Xbox One. But let's do something like we did above. Let's use syntax. So we'll open our curly brace, and we'll put our separator symbol, and then we'll put a different affiliate Amazon ad. So we'll paste that in there. We'll put a separator, and we'll copy another one. We'll put our separator, and we'll copy a fourth one. Then we close our syntax. And then if we go back to design and look at that, you can see now that we've got 4 different ads. Now, this will then allow the system, we'll just click update there, and we'll update that page. And this will allow the system, when it's built, it will pick one of these at random and place it underneath the article. So we've now got some mixture going on. We're not putting the same article at the bottom of every one. We're changing it up. Now, another feature that's really good is we can actually create our own tokens. So we've got up in this menu here, we've got My Tokens, and that allows you to create your own tokens that appear in this list. Now, the benefit of that is this Amazon rotating gaming ad could have been created as a token. Now, the benefit of that is, let's say you've got multiple mashes and you've embedded the ads at the bottom of every one. Now, let's say you find out later that one of the products has been discontinued. So let's say this one no longer is available, or you've noticed that an affiliate link that you use no longer converts, for example. Now, if you'd done this at the bottom of every mash and you've got it in, say, 20, you'd have to go back and edit all 20 to change it. But if you'd created a token like citation, then you just edit it in the token once, and then when the system picks that up and builds it, it would change it everywhere. So you've only got to do it in one place, not in 20. So that's another reason why we allowed you to build your own tokens. Another time-saving benefit. So now, once you've done the money hooks, we can go to anchor text. Anchor text will allow us to search through the article for a keyword. And you simply, if I was to type in there, say, Microsoft, then we can then decide to hyperlink that word if that word appears in the content, the description, or both. And we can do this by feed. So you can search for different words that came from different feeds, or you can search all feeds. So in here, we could put https //microsoft.com, for example. Now that could also be an outbound link to something you own, an affiliate link to another offer, for example, could be to another post, but this is also Spintax enabled. So we could mix it up a bit and we could put the separator, and for the benefit of the demo, I'll just put google.com, for example, and then close it down. And then you can decide on how many times do you want to find it per article. So we don't allow too many because we don't want to keyword stuff. We don't want to overdo it. So let's just say in this example, 1. And then we click add to keyword list. So you can see there we've said, if you find in the content the keyword Microsoft, choose either google.com or microsoft.com to hyperlink that word. So again, another great feature. Now the advanced tab, this is really, I mean, this could be used to do whatever you want to do with the final feed, like add things in, remove things, take things out. Now, I've noticed in this particular feed, as you can see with all the ones I've put in the bottom, you can go to town on this and really clean it up. Or you can just use the strip HTML and then see what happens there. But I noticed that in this feed, whenever we saw that tag in the code, I'll copy that. In fact, I'll just click edit. So here we can see I've selected the feed. So this is by each feed that comes in, and it's saying I want to remove, you can see we've ticked remove from the content. Whenever you see that tag in the code, all the way until you see that tag as well, because that was an indicator that anything after that was going to be ads related. And they even in the feed put when they turn the ads off, which was marvelous. So all we do is we put the tag in the first box and then the tag in the second box, and we say whenever you see those two, remove them, including the tags as well. So it will take them out. And you can see you can use it for all kinds, giving credit, the captions under the pictures. In this feed at the bottom, there was like, if you've got a story, send it in and they'll pay you some money. Well, we didn't want that either. So there you can see whenever you see, that's HTML code for strong text, got a, and when it ends, it will take it out. So it's really quite powerful. Like whenever we saw the word the sun.co.uk, just remove it. But you can do all kinds of stuff here. You can replace keywords as well. So it's clear on that. You could replace. So whenever we saw anything that you didn't want, you could replace it with, so if it said the sun, which is where I got the article from, you could replace it with either nothing, which would remove it, or you could replace it with your site.co.uk, for example. Just, I mean, however far you wanted to take it. And then whenever it found those words, it would replace them with those words instead. So the sun would get replaced with your site.co.uk. So you can do quite a lot in this section, but what we'll do is we'll go to the build and we'll click on build and we'll get it to run. It'll pull the feed in, it will apply all our rules that we've set, and it will put the money hooks in, and then we simply click. We can preview the XML if we wish, but we've also built in an actual view so that you can see what's going on. Now here you can see we've got the title, hyperlink to the original article. We've got the description, And there is our first clever bit of syntax that we did. One of my sentences was, "This is so brilliant," and it's picked it up. Then the article has started, including pictures, talking about Activision, looks like Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming out soon. You see a perfect gaming article. And then as we get to the bottom, I mean, things like "we pay for your stories," you could use the advanced to get rid of that for you. And then here is the citation token that we embedded. And you can see that it's been replaced by Harry. It's got the original title, where we sourced it from, and the actual publishing date. And then we've got our AdSense, sorry, our Amazon affiliate ad, and it's picked one of them at random and dropped it in underneath. Then we go to the next one. It's picked "This is so brilliant" again, and there we can see Wizzy render of a PS5 in this article. Got some coronavirus pictures going on here. And there's our ad. And there you can see we've got a different ad. So it's picked a different one. So it's completely at random. There's a PS5. So you can see the power of, there's a different ad again. And there's another gaming article. So the benefit of this now is you can keep clicking build until you're happy. And then you can click finish and activate, and the system will take over and start building the mesh for you. So what can we do once we've got those articles in the database? We can go to our scheduler. Now in the schedule, I'll click on gaming schedule and edit that. This is where you decide at your own pace where the articles can be posted to. So simply give it a name. You select the mesh. As you can see, it's already selected gaming mesh. You can choose a template to save you filling these in. You can create your own templates, but you can decide a start and an end time. So only post between 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night. How many articles maximum, if available, of course, do you want to be able to post? So you might say 4 on a Sunday, you might want 8 on a Monday, completely your choice. You just choose how many. But of course, you've probably got 10 or 20 articles now stored in the database. You don't want to push them out all at once. You want to stagger that, because what I'm going to show you allows us to push them to social media. So you don't want to bombard all at once. You want to stagger it. And this field here will allow you what's the wait time between each post that you want to wait before it will post another one. And you can see here we've got 90 minutes. We can put anything in there, 24, randomize it slightly, and it will post an article. So if it was like Monday today, we've got 8, and then the first one would post, and it would wait a maximum of 24 minutes before it would post another one. And then when it gets to 8, it would stop, and it would wait until Tuesday. Now the next field allows us to not post articles if they're older than a certain amount of time. So if you're doing a news feed with relevant content like news, Trump, for example, being impeached, you want that as soon as it comes out. You don't want it to be too old or you've missed the boat. So you could say, if we haven't posted it and it's still in the database, but it's more than 48 hours old in this example, then don't bother posting it at all, and it will just never get posted. Now, down below, this is where it gets really interesting, because this is where we tell it where to post. So what you can do here is you can see I've set up a WordPress. So you choose a WordPress. we can integrate, you integrate all your WordPress accounts, all your WordPress sites that you're using. You also can add all your Twitter accounts, Pinterest accounts, your Google Blogger as well can be added, and then it will bring in all the blogs that you've got. I'll explain what we do with those as we go on. So you choose, I'm just going to pick my demo cars WordPress site for this example, but you can select whichever one that's that you've got stored in your system. And then it brings all the categories in for you. So you choose a category. I've actually got a gaming category there, so I'd select that. And then you can choose to post it in draft, but we've seen what it looks like. I'm quite happy with it. So I'm going to post it live, so that's not checked. We can quote the original author if we wish, but because we've used the citation, we don't need to do that. We'll use that citation token. And this box, this one's quite, this is quite an interesting one, because what this will do is it will allow you to post title and link to the original source, and that's all it does. But the reason we did that was, for those of you that have ever heard of something called the Drudge Report, that site is full of just title and link. So you can, if you wish, recreate that kind of a website. But more about that another time. In this instance, we want to post the image that it found. I want it to be the featured image, so we tick that box. We also want to upload all the images that it found in the article, so we tick that box. Now, the reason we do that is if the RSS feed in the future or the original content goes away, your article will break. So we actually go through, the system will parse all the images out, and it will upload them to your media on your WordPress. We want to post the full content. Yes, we do. So we tick that box. And then some themes on WordPress have got a featured image. And because it's a featured image, you don't want it part of the blog post, because if you do, it will show up twice. So we've thought of that. We can tick that box, and it will exclude the featured image from the post, so that you only get it to show up once. We can spin the content. We can spin the title, the description. The content is coming soon, which we're working on. Because of the HTML content, some spinners actually spin that and ruin all the formatting. But you've noticed we've got a spin HTML in the mash. So that's a little insight into what we're trying to do there with that. I'm not going to spin in this instance, but if you integrate Spin Rewriter, it will go off and do that automatically. And we also integrate something called Link Processor, which goes off and links it to 300+ different sites for you and gets your article indexed. I won't tick that on this occasion. So you save that, and you then set it up exactly how you want to post the article to your WordPress site. Now, what we can do is we can now add it and say, well, I want you to tweet about this. So you choose Twitter as a source, and then you choose the Twitter account you've integrated. So in this example, I've just picked my own Twitter account. And now here, as you can see the mouse circling this, this is where the magic happens, because the article link is the original article link, which you can tick if you wish. And then when this goes to Twitter, it will force people to go and look at the original content. Now, there might be a reason why you want to do that, so you can. But because we've posted an article to our own WordPress blog, we can tick that to say, I want you to put the link for this information to my own WordPress blog. So what we've done there is we've automated a backlink from Twitter to your WordPress site, which is like gold, really. But we can do more than that. We can, we've got something called Rightly Integrated. And what that does is the system will pass it information. It will pass it the description about the article. And then Rightly will go off and find relevant hashtags for you and bring them back. We then pass that information and we add it to your tweet so that you've got relevant hashtags in the tweet, which will help when people search for things. That will then get yours to show up based on the hashtags. You can decide how many hashtags you want. You can also decide whether you want emojis. So it will also come back with little emojis to make your tweet pop. And when you scroll up your timeline, when you see one with hashtags and emojis, it does make you pause a little bit. So that is why we do that, and also the relevancy of being able to be found in the search. But we can also, we get the link back automatically, we get the link back to your tweet. So we can use link processor, and the system will then automatically send that to link processor and get it indexed. So not only are we creating tier 1 backlink, we're also doing tier 2 backlinks to the original tweet, which is marvelous. But we don't have to stop there. We can do the same with Pinterest. So exactly the same. We choose Pinterest, you choose the media, or the account that you've added. It then brings all the boards back. Where do you want to post this? So you can see here, bring all the boards back. We've got a gaming board, perfect. The post type, again, WordPress post link. So when people find it on Pinterest, and they do, people are finding mine and repinning mine all day, every day. It puts the featured image as the pinned image. It will then, the link will be back to your WordPress post, which is this one up here. So it will create another backlink from Pinterest. We can hashtag and emojify it just like the tweet. But we also get, once we've automated the post, we get that link back. So we can also send that link to link processor, again, creating tier 1 backlinks and tier 2 backlinks. And this one that hopefully we've got time to talk about is we can actually use Blogger and post the content to Blogger just like we can WordPress. But we can also use the power of Blogger to create backlinks. So you choose, yes, I want to post a Blogger. You say which account. So you choose from a drop down. And then you say which blog. So you choose, as you can see, I've got a list. So you choose the blog that you want this to go to. And post content will then post all the content just like you do on WordPress. But we don't want to do that. We want to post, and you can tick which bits of information you want. So we want the title, the description, and the first image. And again, we want to send it back to our WordPress blog. So this now creates little mini backlinked sites on Google Blogger. They show the title, the description, a great image, and then it automatically puts a read more for you, and it will embed the link, the WordPress post link, back to your WordPress post. Again, you can spin if you wish. And we can also, because we get that link back, it will automatically send it to link processor as well. So we're now creating another tier 1 and tier 2 backlink for your original content, which is marvelous. And as I spoke about earlier, you can say things like Integromat, and you can integrate Integromat. You can integrate, I mean, don't forget, once you've got your WordPress posting nicely, WordPress can be a trigger for IFTTT. So if you use IFTTT, the WordPress post can automate whatever it is you wish to do on that side as well. So you've got this system building all the nice data and the articles and doing all the backlinking for you. But of course, then if you get IFTTT to monitor WordPress, the world's your oyster in going down that route as well to do whatever you wish to do. And we can integrate webhooks into Integromat. And there's a nice thing that I do with Integromat, and that allows me to build a Tumblr blog. So you add a Tumblr blog, you set it up, you do a webhook into Integromat. Integromat will then let you post to Tumblr. Again, you would say WordPress post link. You can use Writely again. You can add emojis, and you can link processor it as well. So now we are creating another tier 1, tier 2, because we can get Integromat to send us back the post ID to that article, which we can then use link processor to give it some juice. And as you can see in here, you can also send it to a Facebook group and automate content to a Facebook group as well. So loads of power going on in here, all automated for you. And if you'd want to see one of those, what those Blogger blogs look like, this is one that automatically, for my politics, Damon showed you my Hell of a Read website, which has got celebrities, politics, TV shows, that kind of thing. This here, you can see the political blog that's being built, and if we simply click on one, it's automatically put the title, it's put the image, it's put the description, but then it's gone read more, and that read more is a backlink. As you can see, if you can see the bottom screen where the link goes to, it will take me back to the original article that's on the WordPress site. So lots and lots of power. There's lots and lots of other features that we can do on there, but hopefully you get the gist without overpowering you with information at this point. But you can see what I've showed you today is something rather special. So Damon, anything else? Any questions?
I'm looking at the page and I don't see any questions come in yet, except for one that I think Damon may have already answered. By the way, great tutorial, Wayne. Thank you for that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Somebody was asking about, and I had a question about this too, because, you know, we've been teaching content curation. Not some, we have a course called curation or content kingpin, excuse me, where we teach how to curate content manually. And essentially it's for training virtual assistants. I love the fact that this automates it. However, one of the things that I've run into trouble with years ago was when curating any sort of photos or images, you can get in trouble for copyright infringement and get, you know, fined for that or sued for that. And so I'm wondering, how do you guys kind of get around that problem with using other people's images when you don't have licensing rights?
Well, one of the things that in this example, the content is in the feed. And as far as I'm concerned, if it's in the feed, it's public domain. But not only do we have that assumption, you can also cite the original author. And I think Damon's got a slide in the rest of the presentation that talks about the doctrine.
Okay.
The fair use doctrine.
Yeah.
But we have also, it's 95% complete. It's in development. I'll leak it out now. We've actually got a system that will auto search for royalty-free images and swap them out. So if you're really, really concerned about that,
Okay.
we've got it covered.
Very good. And that's the only question I see, other than somebody asked specifically.
Bradley,
go ahead.
If I can continue on that, if a filter could be put into this where we can get rid of Getty images, because they don't give a shit about fair use and any of that. They'll just send you the paperwork, the legal paperwork. Man, and yeah, they'll go to the ends of the earth after you. They could care less. And I know the legal and that you could use certain things and that it could be public domain. However, Getty Images does not see it that way, and they will come after you. So maybe a filter that'll pull out any image that's related to Getty Images would be it would be the perfect tool, because I'm seeing a whole lot of uses, whole lot of possible uses, especially for our group, right? And IFTTT, and then I was talking to you end of last year, Bradley. I told you how tiered syndication, it was just murdering it. And something like this is just perfect for that kind of system, man.
Which John, I think it's John Wypick, who was asking in the chat box about how can this fit in with Semantic Mastery methods. And that's exactly what I stated, was think about feeding second tier networks. You guys all of you that have been following Semantic Mastery for long know that I typically don't like using 2-tier networks for blog syndication because of the pain in the ass it is trying to feed the second tier networks with relevant content feeds. Well, that's what RSS Master does very, very well, right? Which is you're able to create one feed to feed a second tier network that has everything set up exactly the way you want it. Whereas that was a real nightmare to do manually before. And that's why I just haven't been using 2-tier networks for blog syndication for many years, because they got too hard to maintain and manage. But in this case, this will automate or kind of streamline that process and allow you to manipulate the feed from inside the dashboard, as opposed to always having to go in to IFTTT and create 15 new recipes for each new feed, if that makes sense. So that's part of it. The other thing I could see is using this to add relevant content to like ID pages, for example, because you're able to strip so much from the original feed that you wouldn't be losing or kind of ambiguating your entity by putting an RSS feed as an embedded feed in the middle of your ID page. So I can see a lot of uses for this for Semantic Mastery methods. And I can see Brian Cato looks like he mentioned that he picked it up last week, RSS Master, and he says it's fire. So if Brian says it's fire, you know.
Yeah.
So Damon, you're going to pick back up?
Yeah, I'm going to pick back up. I'm going to switch over screens real quick here. And hopefully you can see the show and tell here.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And guys, this is a new product. I mean, we wrote it from the ground up, and there are some great ideas on at least on image swaps, but pulling a Getty image, that's something that we've talked about that I think we can put in the filtering. And so each month we're coming out with upgrades. Like this upgrade month, we got the Google Sheets and the stripping HTML. So we've got a kind of a lineup of things that we're going to keep adding to this. This is it's an evolving product. It's what we use ourselves, and that's kind of how we want to do it. Is anything that we use, any great ideas, we're just going to throw it in here. And of course, if y'all pick up an agency license, and today I'll go over the agency license, but your ideas possibly could be included in here very quickly. So,
all right, Damon, just one more question. Someone's saying that they can't log into Zoom for whatever reason. A member of RSS Master from a while ago, he says, are they getting an auto upgrade, or how's that going to work? Will they have to buy to upgrade?
Yeah, they'll have to buy it's not, we borrowed from the name only because we're doing an RSS mash with it also. But the power of this is mash to schedule. We're creating auto posting. So if they want this version, they would have to buy it. We still support the RSS, the original RSS masher, and it still works just fine. I think that was John D. I think I was replying to him. This is an automated content marketing system. And what we have on the tool, the main tool, is our automated blogging platform. That was the scheduler. That was the mash into the scheduler. This is just one of our customers here. This is Christian. He bought this early on, and he's putting a lot more into Google Ads and Google AdSense. Oops. We have the keyword filtering. Now, this is important because what I like is I like the celebrity, the gossip, the politics. But when you tune into a TMZ feed, it can overrun a website really quickly. It can overrun your social networks, especially if there's a Kim Kardashian news or Colin Kaepernick news in there. So we use the keyword filtering. So if you want to build, and I gave this example the other day, if you want to build a NFL draft fantasy WordPress site, you may want a category that says Dallas Cowboys, and a category that is Kansas City Chiefs. So you could pull the NFL.com, their blog stream, ESPN's blog stream, and you filter by those categories to set up a mash. And then the mash goes into the schedule into a specific category. So you could have a mash from the exact same feed that is only Kansas City Chiefs, and then one that is Dallas Cowboys. So that's kind of the power of using the keyword filtering. This is Robert that left us a good testimonial the other day. Code extractor. Wayne kind of just briefly touched on the advanced tools. You have the ability to, because what we're doing is we're taking an RSS feed and adding it to a database. And then we give you the tools inside to modify that database to create a brand new RSS feed from scratch. So you can do a remove, you can do a remove and replace, and you can, using the code extractors, you can really customize this to the way that you want to show it. Here's another testimonial from Dan about our power scheduler. The ability to put WordPress in there, your own WordPress, and then swap the links on your tier 2 back to the original blog content. That's what we built this for, that's the power of this. Go ahead. Okay. Turbo Post Scheduler. This is what makes the auto blogger. And some people have asked in the past, well, why don't you just go straight RSS feeds back into a WordPress? Well, it comes back down to, you want to mix content up. You want various feeds coming in into the categories on your site. But if you get an overrun, like I was just talking about on TMZ, I hope I don't offend anybody, but anytime you have a nip slip or somebody bowing, going to a knee during the halftime show or during the national anthem, you have a lot of feeds coming out immediately. TMZ can do, sometimes they'll do 300 feeds off there on a daily basis if there's a hot trending news item. So you don't want 300 new posts going into your WordPress. You want to use this to kind of throttle everything down, and the ability also to do not post if it's older than 24 hours. So this is kind of your limiter that will only put fresh, brand new content into your WordPress. This is just another one. We're going to talk about the retargeting trick at the end. This is kind of a slick way of doing it, and we're going to show you how to set up your permalinks too to do it correctly. Article emulator templates. Now, what Wayne didn't really go in, this is an article scraper. And if you want to go, I wouldn't say it's not Black Hat, but it's on a little, you're pulling original content. So you want to make sure that you're doing things right. You cite everything back to the original author, and you do a curated model. But we give you the power to set this up exactly like you want it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to offer, we have a full agency license. Now, this is not offered publicly. We are going to do a public launch in late March, and at that time, we're going to have very limited licenses, but the agency license allows you to do any WordPress site that you own or manage. And that gives you the ability to do your client sites as well. And we have a special offer for the Semantic people on the call today. And we've got a 25% off coupon on our agency license. We have two options. We have an annual price, and then we have a lifetime one-time pay price. So just use the code SEMANTIC, and you're going to save 75%. It's good for the next 72 hours. So if you don't rush over there today, you might want to watch the replay and catch it again. And it ends on Valentine's Day. And it's, to get there, it's rssmaster.com/semantic. And then if you order today, what we're going to include, because there's a lot of people coming in, they don't know how to actually take an RSS feed and use it as a monetization source or a traffic source. So we go in, we've got a RSS mastermind course included with this. We did this a few years back with our original RSS master, but it was a very expensive mastermind course, and we're going to include that absolutely free. I did some whiteboard webinar talks. I put those in there also. And I did this course. This was the Perfect Buyer Blueprint. In fact, some of y'all may own this. This was back before we actually created RSS Master Tech. Is I was using plugins called WP RSS Aggregator, and it was $30 per year per site. So it got to be really expensive because I had a couple dozen sites out there, and when the renewal came up, I owed them $900. I'm like, I need to do something different. So that's what we did. Is we're doing things that we would want ourselves. So the total value with everything, with all these extra courses, it comes to about $27.97 on the bonus package. You're not going to pay that today. The one-time pay is $9.97, and you can use your 25% off coupon. And the annual pay is $4.97 a year, and you can use the 25% on that. And it goes for the rest of the years too. It doesn't go back to $4.97 if you use the coupon. Okay.
That's cool. Thank you.
And I tell everybody, this is not for the get rich quick or the SOS people out there. This does take some work, and anything that you're building long-term for a recurring income, you're going to put a little bit of time in it. So what I tell everybody is you're going to put a few hours to maybe even a full day to build all the mashes up, get them all scheduled, get them ready to go into your WordPress. But once they're built, it is a set it and forget it system. So you can move on to the next WordPress site, and you can backlink it automatically through our settings. And you can also, by tapping into Integromat and Zapier, is you can automate to a lot of different social media sites out there than what we actually support inside the software itself. And we did a 5-week mastermind training, which actually ended yesterday or Thursday. And in that mastermind, we 1 week is devoted just to Integromat and Zapier, and we keep adding training ongoing on this. But we want this to be a tool that you could use for the next 4, 5, 10 years. And here's my 30-day money-back guarantee. I want you to be completely satisfied. If you're not, I'll give you a full refund. It's unconditional. But what I ask is, if you're serious about it, actually go through and use the software. Don't just buy it just to be buying. The software is very powerful. There's a lot of different ways you can use it. And we go over a lot of these ways inside the mastermind course that you're going to get with this. Okay. So this is everything you're going to get. You're going to get the perfect buyer. I've got my 25 favorite RSS feeds. And one of the things that we just added, and in fact, I'm paying a VA to do the research now, is if you don't even want to look up your RSS feeds, we've got anywhere from 2 to 5 feeds per niche. And Wayne kind of just lit on it a little bit, is we've got, I think there's over 35 niches in there. So you could just pick the niche, pick the feed, and boom, you're set up, ready to go with your RSS feeds. And I've got a list of my 25 favorite in the niche category also. But in addition to that is we're going to put anywhere from 5 to 7 YouTube channels inside of the YouTube embeds or the video embeds. And what that will allow you to do is build a WordPress site that is basically a video embed player site. So you could do soccer videos, golf videos, and you're using the YouTube information to drive traffic into your site. And we copy the title and the description along with the video embed.
That's cool.
Now, there were 2 things that we mentioned, 2 different strategies. One is the money hooks. You saw how Wayne is using the money hooks. You can use the money hooks any way you want. You've got spend tax available. Wayne and we have different strategies on how we use the money hooks. I like to do a curated model. In fact, Wayne showed you right at the very end on the money hooks is I want to have a sentence or 2 sentences above the content talking about it, as if I'm doing a personal review of the content coming out. At the bottom is I like to have my citations, and I will do Amazon rotators in below the citation mark, just like Wayne was doing there. But you can also strip the HTML and put it to a limited character set. So if you only want to see the first 500 characters, then you could put a button inside the money hook that is a read more button, takes them over to the original article. So you're just doing a summary blog post. It's up to you, however you want to do this. With the money hooks, we're also going to go in probably in March, is instead of being just top and bottom, we're going to allow you to do different paragraphs in there. Is that you can pull it from, in fact, let me see. I'm not even sharing my video. I'll come back online here, guys. I had some real good hand movements showing y'all everything. Then looked up and my webcam's not on. But what we're going to do with money hooks is allow you to do 2nd and 3rd paragraph breaks in there. So it's going to look like AdSense being able to stick either the image sets, you can do redirects to other posts that you have in the content itself. So it's going to be like an embed content method. And that's probably coming out in March there. So that's part of the money hook strategy that we're talking about. And what we say is you're bookending the content. You put the good content in the middle, you put your stuff, money hooks at the top and bottom of your content. And that entire article is sitting in the MASH if you want to use an RSS feed, or you can push it in through your schedule. Okay, strategy 3. This is a concept everybody has heard of retargeting. Well, you can build traffic funnels now with traffic coming in, especially on the gossip sites and the celebrity sites. Is what you do is you put a Facebook pixel inside of your WordPress site, and you can go into Facebook and then just find a custom audience. Anybody visiting this particular post on this WordPress site. Now, it's not gonna actually fill the custom audience and do a lookalike until you have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 visitors. But the trick to it is you can do categories. And Wayne introduced this to me the other day, and I'm like, well, that's just brilliant. So you set your permalinks up on WordPress to do a category and then the post name. And if you do that, then if you have a TV show like Love Island is one of the really popular ones in the UK right now, and some posts get 100 visitors to it, some get over 1,000. So instead of individually going after the Facebook, the WordPress post, we're going after categories. So you could do a custom audience, anybody that has visited your WordPress site under Love Island. Now that gives you the power to build a custom audience that people are interested in Love Island, and then you could do a lookalike on top of that. Where all that comes in is if you do Facebook advertising, you do affiliate marketing, you could do any type of ads that you do in Facebook. Now you have a very defined audience of people that visited the site on current news in a current category. So you know these are hot people. They just went to your site yesterday. And so that's kind of the trick of the strategy. It allows you to really kind of laser focus into a custom audience from there. And now I wish this showed better. What about the duplicate content myth? I know some people are asking about it. And there's a policy, and it's gone all the way through the Supreme Court. It's called the Google it on search. It's called the Fair Use Doctrine. And what it is you want to balance. You can do a parody, you can do a review of any copyrighted product, and that doesn't make you fall under the copyright laws. So when you get into this, even if you want to research this before you buy, go in and look under Fair Use Doctrine, and you can see all the different ways to make this thing perfect so you don't get tagged by the original author saying, hey, you're using my feed. And in the case that happens, I go in and I delete the feed. That's how easy it is. And you go into WordPress and you delete the posts that are in there. Does it happen? Let me tell you a story. Yes, it will happen occasionally. And usually it's not TMZ or ESPN. They don't even care about you. It's the guy that has a WordPress site with an RSS feed and he does one post a month. And you happen to pick up that really small RSS feed and he gets upset because you're sharing his information. So just remove the feed. It seldom happens, but that's when it happens. It's usually the smallest feed in your deck. Okay. And this is just restatement. Here's the code, Semantic. It's good through 214. And I don't have the questions up in front. Wayne or Bradley, is there any questions that I can answer that haven't been answered already?
Yeah, I see one from Walt, which I'm pretty sure you have. He says, is there a Facebook or forum for RSS master users to share their knowledge?
Yes, very good question. We have a Facebook group. In fact, let me see if I can bring it up here.
There's, if you noticed when I demoed the software on the dashboard, there was four colored boxes on the screen. The blue one is actually the link straight to the group.
Yeah, our RSS master group is very active.
Cool.
And here's what we've kind of learned to do is, in fact, I hope you don't mind if I say this, I kind of copy y'all. Y'all have a very good active group inside your Facebook, but y'all share some good content without having, you share it inside your Facebook group. And what I've noticed is anybody doing that actually has some pretty decent content inside the group itself, and you get a lot of engagement. So every day I come out with a new marketing post, but we've got a lot of engagement, and we are on Facebook. Wayne and I have different time schedules that we're on it, but we're on it probably 20 hours out of the 24 hours. So you can kind of see we got a lot of content. And a lot of these are just RSS posts, but we let you know anytime anything new is hitting the RSS Master technology. I also email you. But we do a lot of training, a lot of Friday calls. we did this last Friday was an RSS fireside chat, and got a lot of comments on it. Great webinar, but this is more on the RSS strategy itself. Is we talked about, you know, how to use it with RSS Master Tech, but more importantly, how do you monetize it? And that's, you know, a lot of people are asking, how do you monetize your website? Well, how do you monetize it right now? Just expect more traffic coming to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know we're right at, it looks like we're at an hour and 45 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I'm not seeing any other questions, guys. If you have any additional questions, go ahead and post them now while you have Damon and Wayne here to answer them. Otherwise, let's go pick it up.
Yeah.
Marco, are you still on? Do you have any other questions or anything you would like to add?
No, I have no questions. I just see that the use of this for the people in RYS Academy, the people in Semantic Mastery Mastermind Syndication Academy. I mean, this fits hand in glove, because you're going to pick up not only the way that they do it, but if they include the way that we do it, which is you commingle your RSS feed with all these other trusted and authoritative feeds that you find in your niche, and you populate a tiered network. And the tiered network doesn't just have to be what MGYB creates. You can continue daisy chaining tiered networks, right? Or you can create your own sites and tier those out. So imagine having your own. Now this is a true PBN, private blog network that you ultimately control. So imagine having that kind of control when you're building these sites, like Damon says, but you attach a tiered syndication network to it, so that it's feeding out to all of these. And now what you're doing is, remember when I talked about neural matching to our audience, right? NEURAL. This is what the bot is looking for. So what you're creating is your own database, relational database for your entity, and nobody's entity is going to be stronger than yours, because you're creating all of the fucking matches yourself. You're feeding the bot, is what we teach you to do. And this is on auto. It doesn't get any better than that, man. It doesn't get any simpler.
It's awesome.
Yeah, this was when we were at the private blogger network. I used to do those a lot. And we always get the question is, what's the best niche to do? I said, don't worry about the niche. Go wide, go broad with it. You could build a whole bunch of WordPress sites, and we've got a guy that does gift boxes, wine gift boxes. Some of y'all may, is Scott Rogers. And I said, you could do a wedding site, you could do a gift site, and all of them can point back to your original gift box site. And you could do ads in there. You could do any type of, so you could build multiple WordPress sites around your main money site and just start feeding it all day long.
Yeah, you know, part of we at Semantic Mastery, we haven't been using PBNs or private blog networks for SEO for years. We stopped doing that years ago, and you know, it's still a strategy that works, but it's become more difficult. It's harder to hide your footprint, you know, that kind of stuff, but it can be done well. And one of the things is, and Marco talks about this a lot, is, you know, a link atrophies. So that's part of the reason why PBNs don't work nearly as well as they used to, is because a lot of times SEOs will buy a domain because of its metrics and rebuild the content on that domain, you know, and then use that to just build a link back to their primary, you know, assets that they're trying to rank. But if there's no traffic or activity, no ART, right? Activity, relevance, trust, and authority on that link. So if there's no activity through the inbound link coming from that PBN, then it's kind of devalued. It's not given as much weight. And so that's where I think this could actually help, because as you were showing, you can create basically PBN sites that are auto blogged that will start generating their own traffic, especially when you're using content that is, you know, the type of content that will draw attention, like what you were showing, Damon. And then what happens is that those blogs populate with real people, like real traffic. And so if you're driving traffic back from those back to your money site, or even tier one entity assets, that kind of stuff, that becomes relevant traffic. And so those links would end up being worth more. And so what I'm saying is, without even rebuilding aged domains, you could start off with new domains and build some relevancy and some authority through auto posting, but it would be irrelevant. Like you'd be directing traffic through that site back to your money sites or your tier 1 assets, which could be the activity that makes those links much more weighted, if that makes sense. So I could see using this as kind of a PBN strategy that I wouldn't have recommended otherwise.
No, but this is different, right? And the way that it's different is that you're not going to be selling anyone a link on your network. This is all set up for yourself. So you're going to be feeding these persona networks, right? These fanboys are going to be fed all of this different content from all over the web, and it meets all the criteria. I mean, you still get a manual, but that's, you know, hitting the lottery. The likelihood of you getting a manual is probably greater than you hitting. I mean, you have better odds hitting the lottery than you do getting a manual. Yeah. So outside that, as long as if you have people coming into your private blog network, I mean, you keep it private, meaning to yourself. You don't advertise to other, hey, come get a link on my blog post for X amount. That's when you start getting in trouble. Now you're selling links. It's no longer private. You're no longer keeping it to yourself. The same shit that's happening now when you go and buy an expired domain, you set it all up like you explained to provide that link back to your website, and then nothing else happens there. Well, now what you can do is go get that expired domain, get some relevant RSS content going in there, right? It's continuously populated from all over the web. You're not doing anything different than Yahoo, than AOL, than all of these other websites on the web. Like HuffPost is a big one that all they do is curate content all fucking day long, and that's all they do, and it's perfectly okay. As long as you don't get too crazy with it, and as long as you take care of each PBN that you build, where you do make it an entity in and of itself, and you add that tier 1 syndication network, that branded network, so that persona, whatever it is that you build, becomes a brand on the web, then you're meeting all the criteria for what the bot is looking at right now. So that
would be a seed site, right?
It becomes a seed set, because the seed site is whatever it is that you're pushing traffic into, which is your original money site.
Gotcha.
So what it is you have the seed, your site becomes the seed site, because everyone is pushing links from all of this different content back into your tier 1 syndication network, back to your website, back to Drive, back to your press releases, anything that's part of your golden frame, you can push links back, and it's going to hide in between, among all of this content that you're pushing throughout the web. Is going to look perfectly natural. I mean, it's just the things, we could probably take this for a test drive and use it our way and come up with because I'm telling you, the way that I was doing it before, and I'm not going to mention the software because it's competing software, but it's just this relationship, man, with your content and other people's content. This authoritative and trusted content that just boosts you up all that much, because you're getting traffic now, and it wouldn't even be tier 3 and tier 4. It becomes like tier 4A, tier 4B, but it's all pushing everything inward, and it just becomes a monster. And your website, I mean, we've seen it part with what Dedia's case study is doing, and that's still working at the golden frame level, right? With all of the tier 1 properties. He hasn't even expanded out. I can see this helping Dedia with every other product that his client has, because he's hitting page 1. I mean, 1 right after, he's knocking them off like fish in a barrel, man. Yep. From those, so you add this to it for more authority, more trust. Now you're creating you have your seed site, and you're creating all of these seed sets that feed back all of this Google love into your money site. And if you can't make money from any of this, you need to find another fucking job.
Yeah, to take that one, to elaborate on that, my news site that you saw was a new domain, fresh. I'd had it a while, but I didn't do anything with it until we'd finished Masher. And so basically it had got no authority really. So the key was to start posting on it, tweet and Pinterest, but Pinterest to categories. So you get category specific pins for each category on the site. So if you've got, there you can see we've got soap opera, Love Island, The Masked Singer, Royal Politics. There's a board for every one of those on the Hell of a Rig Pinterest site. So you send those out, they get linked automatically as well. But then the blogger, the key there is to create a blogger blog for every category. So I've got keeping up with the Royals, keeping up with Love Island, keeping up with politics. So it's automatically populating the blogger blog, which links back to the original article in that category. Everything's relevant in that category, and it also gets tier 2 backlinks as well. So it's pushing value all the way, all the time back to this site here. This site here now gets regularly, in fact, the sporting one as well has started to take off. That gets 700 to 1,000 users a day. And this one here gets similar, sometimes more, but it also gets sometimes 3 to 4. Have I got one here? 300 organic searches. So how about that? And it was basically a fresh domain.
And here's the neat thing: you got 300 organic search in one day. That is just the organic side of it. The social side, we're getting typically it's 2.5 to 3.5 times the organic is what we're getting on social going into these sites. And that's why, it is news feed marketing, is we're putting, the very best titles, the very best images back into the news feed, but we're swapping links. That's the whole trick to it, is that link swap that we do inside the scheduler.
There's also something coming as soon as we can. It's in development. It's also, I'm just working out the best way to do it, but it's also going to auto silo them as well. So it's gonna link each one to each one. So take the example of the blogger, for example. Not only is it building those authority links, but we're going to get them to link to each other as well in that category. So that, let's say you've got 10 blogs in the Royal Blogger, then those 10 will link to each other. So Google's bot will follow them, as well as going back to the original post on the original WordPress site, which again, we're also going to get them to be siloed as well. So they'll link to each other, pushing content straight back to the top of, say, the politics category. So eventually, with all that power, we'll probably start ranking for single keywords, or at least two-shot keywords.
Now, I wanted to show y'all this one site. This is a viral theme site from Envato. And one of the things that you got to keep in mind is you want them coming in looking at the post, but you want them to stay and visit other things. So we do try to vary it up a little bit, but this one theme has questions and polls, personality assessments. It's got video embeds. So Google is going to love you if they're jumping around between posts and quizzes and polls and doing a whole bunch of things within one big website. And all the ads on here point back to my own products. These are all courses that I teach. So anything you see in here, I'm making money selling my own products back. And again, I've got some AdSense also running in here as well. But you want a theme. This is the beauty about it. You can buy these themes now that used to, I'd charge $3,000, $4,000 to build something like this. Now, for $59, you can get it on Envato and have, within 6 hours, have a brand new website looking like this. Guys, we're coming up right on 2 hours. Let's go ahead and, unless there's one final question in here, we're going to go ahead and end this. Okay. Looks like
Yeah, I see. Let's see. There's one that says, and then that's about it. So we can wrap it up, Damon. It says, so do you delete articles that are let's say 1 month or 2 months old? Months of articles would start to take up a lot of space on the server. Plus, news has a very short lifespan. So I guess he's saying, are you going in and purging articles from your auto blog sites at some point?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's too much damn work.
Exactly.
So not only that, but if you have any SEO value accrued to any of the posts that you delete,
someone will find it, and you don't want it to be a broken link, or you don't want it to pop to the homepage.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't mess with that. So, well, that's awesome. So I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing that. And Marco, just so you know, I posted the RSS in your Slack channel so that you can review it as well, because I'd like to see what you play with it besides me, and see what we can come up with, how to best use it. So, guys, we'll I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marco.
I said sounds good.
So we'll talk about this more in our mastermind and such, guys. But yeah, go ahead and pick it up while you can with the 25% off. That's only good until February 14th, Valentine's Day. So you got about 4 days, excuse me. But go to semanticmastery.com/RSS-masher, or the link that you see on the screen, either one, and use the coupon code Semantic for 25% off. And any parting words, guys?
No, thank y'all for having us on the call. We really appreciate it. Hope you're excited as we are about it.
Yeah, I think this is a very powerful tool. And again, I haven't played with it yet, but after watching it today, I've got some ideas in my head of some projects that I could test it with, and I'm going to do so. So I'll let you know, Damon, what I think once I had a chance to set up some mashes. Well,
and the cool thing too is everybody's tossing in great ideas inside the Facebook group. Guess what? Where we get some of our ideas.
That's awesome.
From everybody else.
That's right. Well, thanks again, guys. We appreciate y'all coming on, and we'll follow up with you here shortly, Damon. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah. All the best.